The next thing I want to talk about is do not assume there will be a second or a third round of offers.
Yes.
Go big or go home with your first submission. Okay, Ralph, do it. Do it. Kori and I talked about the personal letters.
I'm so happy you said that. I mean, there's just two on this list that I really need to be a part of. One, deposit checks. Two, on offer strategy. So the most important thing you have to understand is you're offering blind, presuming that we are in multiple offers. And the number one rule is you never, ever, 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 and I've said this before in previous episodes, and I'm going to say it again.
Testify.
You never, ever, ever want to offer against yourself. And if you're clear on the value and you're clear on what the value is to you as the buyer and you're competing, the strategy is really straightforward because you can't control if you're going to get a second chance from the listing agent. They say you might, they say you won't. Anything can happen on an offer night scenario. You just go in, you play your game, and it's one of the things that we always say as a measure to our own clients is if this sold for $5,000 more than what you're offering, would you be okay with it? You might not, have a good night's sleep that night, but would you actually mentally, emotionally be okay with that? And if that is the number, then you're at your number. Maybe leave a little bit of room if you absolutely had to come in, but it's very much a let go and let God type of a scenario. And that's what you do.
Yeah.
And that's how you handle it. Because you don't know how many chances you're going to have. Most likely, most agents at this point set it out from the outset that they're trying to get it done in one shot. And unless a couple offers are super close and they reserve the right to determine what is close, they won't ask you to come back. So figure out what that number is to you as a buyer and let go and let God.
Yeah. Psychologically, sorry, Kori. I was just going to add psychologically to anybody who has not done this too. You can take yourself down a serious rabbit hole of trying to guess what everyone else is doing. The psychology of people you've never met, that you will never meet, that you don't know, and their agents and what their strategy is. So don't do that to yourself. Make peace, like Ralph's saying, make peace with yourself about this is the value to me, and this is what I'm going in at. If I get asked to improve, I've got X number of dollars to throw at this as a little bit of extra. But generally, I'm okay with this landing wherever it lands. Kori, I'm sorry.
And I agree with both of you here, but I also think buyers out there, if you want to win a property in Toronto in a multiple offer scenario and you want to win, you have to be a bit uncomfortable with your number.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be like, oh, this seems like a fair number. You should be like, ugh, I feel uncomfortable with this number. I am stretching myself with this number.
Yeah.
This is more
average.
than I want to pay for this property. It's more than it's worth to me, but can I make it work? Yes. So I want you, and I've talked about this before, I want you to feel uncomfortable. I want you to stretch yourself because that is the only way you're going to get a property. And you're, again, sorry buyers, and I don't mean to sound like a bitch about this, but suck it up and pay more than it's worth because you'll never, ever effing own a property in Toronto unless you're willing to have some balls. So please, not overpay, not be ridiculous, but stretch yourself.
And the important thing is you first have to understand its value, to know what you're offering on it, and then to be comfortable with the premium that you're going to pay above its value, knowing in 5 years from now or in 3 years from now, you're going to laugh at that price.
Or in 6 months, potentially, too. Yeah.
Yep.